Today we're going to talk about fingerprint business structure. How are you going to structure your business? Having a fingerprint business you have. That's kind of redundant. How are you going to structure your fingerprint business? And this was a special request, one of our new, hopefully future members from a small country called North Carolina. Her name is Tysha, T-Y-S-H-A, Tysha from North Carolina. So she's out there giving a shout out to you. And let's jump straight into here about fingerprint business structure. So Carey or Emma, thank you for joining the show today. You guys got a fan club out there, you know that, right?
Hey.
So jump in anytime here, but can you guys share some things that come to mind when we talk about fingerprinting business structure, especially a person who's brand new getting started?
Well, first you have to decide what type of business you're gonna open up. Whether it's a sole proprietor, LLC, or what other type of that's available to you.
Yes, that's true. There are different types out there. LLC, C Corp, S Corp, limited liabilities, you got some of those are just, sole proprietors, DBAs.
Yeah, it
Doing
goes on.
business as an individual or doing business as through a corporate entity. There's different types that you take in consideration. But what's one of the main benefits that come to mind having some type of corporate shield or some type of business entity?
Well, in my case, I chose what was best, put me in a better situation for its liability goes.
Yes.
That's why when I created my business, I made an LLC. Because of the liability risk factor involved in business. And so because the thing you want to structure where they go after your personal or the company itself.
You got kind of low back there for a second, man.
By putting it in an LLC.
You got real low.
Yes.
He was like, mumbling. What's
Y'all didn't hear me?
that, man? Speak it up, man. Speak it out. Shoot.
I'm a little tired, but okay. But yeah, you basically, like I said, you want to basically structure each business gonna be different for every individual. Because like I said, when I structured my business, I figured that an LLC was fitted my personal and best needs for what I wanted to try to do in the direction I wanted to take my business into. Now, a sole proprietorship may be better for you. An S corp could be better for you. So you really going to sit down and research and define each different category and see what best fits your needs as to the direction you want to take your business into, and what exactly you're trying to by putting it into a LLC.
Está louder.
Hey, it's the mic. I don't know. It's the mic. Okay, y'all, I'll put my headset up. Mama, you take over. I'll put my
Okay,
headset.
so I will say for number one, when it comes to the sole proprietorship and the LLC will give you the separation of your, tied to your business when it comes to lawsuits.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to partnership, you have to be careful because you can open unnecessary personal liability when it comes to partnership. So if something happens, if the business gets sued, then you have to make sure you have the cash on hand when it comes to partnership. So it's not separate. When it comes to corporation, I will definitely say it will minimize the liability of risk. It will separate the business asset with the owner asset when it comes to corporation, which is good. So
one thing, folks, we're not attorneys. Always, consult professional advisors. Just information we're sharing with you. Let me jump in real fast. You mentioned partnership? Do you recommend starting a fingerprint business as having a partnership?
no.
No.
Why is this? What's your perspective? None of those devil's advocate, of course. Well, this is my wife, this is my husband. We understand that, but there's always pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
What's your position on that?
There's no separation with your business. So with partnership, you're still using your personal information. I think when it started the business.
Maybe like an LLC. So would you rather start a fingerprint business if you started right now as a partner with somebody else, or just yourself as the person who makes it has a final say so?
I will do an LLC.
As the person make the final say so.
Yeah.
Why not 50-50?
No. Because you might have like what they call it, if you pay 50%, there might be some share involved, and there's a lot of things going on, so you don't want to go there. Definitely not.
Understood.
Right, because the other partner could always sell their
Mm-hmm.
part of their business. Then you end up with every 6 months or every year a different partner, unless you're able to buy that partner out.
And you also have to have an operation agreement too. When you
You
are
should.
partnership,
Yeah.
you have to make sure you have. Let's say that if you're in partnership, let's say that Carey and I we partner, and I decide to sell our business. We have to make sure when we on the beginning of the operation agreement, you have to state it that okay, if you sell the business, you cannot sell to anybody else. So the operation agreement is very important to decide what will happen if you sell, if you don't want to become partner with your partner, or can you add some more people behind there as well? So you have to make sure you know on the fine line when it comes
That's
to.
pretty good. That's pretty good. And you mentioned something like a partnership, have something in writing though, because they may not allow you to sell it to you. They say, no, no, I'm gonna sell my partner, my position to somebody else. You don't have first rights at it at all. So makes the contract is written. And like I said, we're not lawyers, but this different things can pop up. Okay, so brief about the corporate structure and anything. What other things should come in consideration when structuring a business with Fingerprint besides just having a corporate entity? What else comes to mind?
For corporate,
Yeah, besides having a corporate entity, how else what else comes to mind when structuring a fingerprint business? What else you should take in consideration besides just having a LLC or some type of S corp or something?
you have to do research.
Say again.
Yeah,
Do your research.
yeah,
That's true. So when you do research, what do you research about?
Or the pros and the cons of different type of LLC based on the fingerprint world, because every
Okay.
business is not sub the same. And when it comes to fingerprinting, you have to make sure that if it fits your needs for that business. So look for the pros and the cons.
And also licensing purposes, business licensing purposes.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, that part too, yes.
Things you should take in consideration. A lot of people don't think about that. They just sell come and start a fingerprint business. And some of them, like in California, might do some in-car fingerprint, not realizing it's a state law requirement to have a fingerprint license in California, have your own fingerprint certification number, the Department of Justice for California. But just because you're doing in-car fingerprint, you saw some YouTube video, certain states may have you have a certain license you need to have ahead of time. Well, it wasn't on YouTube. No excuse. And then she said, do your research because you just don't know. Business license, citywide license, or certain states might have a state business license. All depends on where you reside at. And that's just having a regular business license. And like I said just a few seconds ago, a state specific license. You might need to have the fingerprint where you reside at. You know.
Yes. Be licensed with the county, make sure the county requires some licensing.
Mm-hmm.
State, some states or some cities still require some licensing for your business, so you have to make sure you're in compliance with all the state laws. Do your research based on your state law where you're going to open your business, because every state have their own requirement. So
Yes.
definitely advise to look into it and do your research to make sure what is the requirement to open a fingerprint business in the state of North Carolina, California, Florida, and so on and so on.
yeah.
That's right. Now, some folks have a licensing and they do business in their particular state or county, but as for business structuring, are they fingerprinting as a home-based operation, or they actually have a physical commercial office? And that's the base of operations. And if so, is it a physical office or is it a virtual office? You're just there to meet people and then head back home. So from my perspective, there's different types of business structures as for your base of operations. Home base, virtual office, commercial office. We have a physical office there. They should take those in consideration too as for the part of the business structure. What's your guys' thoughts on that? And how's it working for you guys right now for your operation?
It makes sense. You
Yeah.
need to consider that, and also to make sure you also have the proper insurance based on your commercial,
Yeah.
home base, or
Yeah.
mobile. The liability can come a long way, so you definitely want to set up insurance when it comes to that, and make sure you are licensed to the county, because you might serve one county, but every county requires different requirements when it comes to open a business in that particular county. So make sure you guys are in compliance with that county or the state, or both.
You mentioned insurance. So what's the benefit of having insurance? So why is it important to have some type of insurance? when you do business. And take it from perspective working from a home-based operation versus having insurance at a commercial office. What's the pros and cons of that?
You want to make sure you have your insurance because you don't know if somebody's going to sue you. Let's say that you have your operation, your home base, if somebody slip and fall in your house, they can sue you. That's liability for your house. So you have to get protected. And based on the setup of the what type of business structure you have to consider what type of insurance you need for your businesses.
Right.
Okay, that's true. I'm living in an apartment complex, and that's gonna be my home-based operation. And I got renter's insurance, but do I need to have business insurance? And do I have to let the person who runs the HOA, if it's like some townhouse committee, know about it too? So, Carey, let's bring you a screen for this one right here. You have a little bit of knowledge about HOA stuff here. So tell us.
Yeah, you can't. Well, most HOA communities will not allow you to run a business from your home because it's a liability to the HOA. Did we get off? I don't know what happened. Are we still live?
We give you the full screen, man.
What happened? I mean, okay, I didn't.
We give you the spotlight for a second there.
But we're getting back to the initial question. Yes, most HOAs will not allow you to run a business out of your home. It's a liability to the HOA, and it's a liability to the homeowner as well. And even with running a business out of your home, like Mama was saying, you still have to take out additional insurance, in which I personally would not run a business out of my home where I have people coming to my house.
There you go. That's the key component there, having people come to your home versus taking phone calls at your house. Is two different types of liability issues.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think there'd be a big issue if you're having your phone calls at your home-based office. But when you have people come to your location at your home or at an apartment complex, so that's a whole different bag of worms, and you're trying to avoid that.
Yes.
If it's your own house, and you should be properly insurance for that too. You might use your garage as an office, or some back office behind your house, or in front of your house, or next to it, the case may be. But it's very important to have some type of coverage. And if this is your business model, your business structure, just make sure you dot the I's and cross the T's.
Right. Because if you have it in your backyard,
it's going to happen.
You have it in your backyard and you make that one customer mad, they can claim they slipped on the way back to their car in your yard. They land in the middle of your yard screaming, hooping, and hollering, and that's it.
Got witnesses every running out taking pictures and stuff.
That's all it takes.
I was chased by a kitty cat and I fell down, something like that.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
And now they can see your house too.
So I see something like a business tool. It's also include things like insurance. And we should have certain tools put in place and resources you should be using as part of your business structure. Insurance, is one of the things right there. Liability insurance, some type of umbrella policy. There's different things out there. You should talk to your professional advisor about that. Say, hey, I'm running a fingerprint business now. What type of insurance do you recommend? And we talk about it, me working from home and then coming to me, or me just having some of my hardware at the house. I'm going off site to a virtual office to meet the clients still. There's different situations there. You might have like an extra rider on your household policy. You got your computer system there just to cover that there if it's a flood or some type of disaster. Think they should take in consideration. But there's also other type of tools they should take in consideration too. Besides computers and insurance. Can you guys think of anything else they should have as part of their business arsenal when starting a fingerprint business?
But if you're mobile like me, you have to take, like my vehicle, by me being mobile, I have to take out additional insurance because now my vehicle is considered a commercial vehicle because I use it for my business. So that's a whole different thing from just your regular vehicle insurance, and I had to put the extra protection on there because I allow customers to come inside of my vehicle to conduct business. In the event somebody slips on my ramp going in or out, I have to make sure that I'm covered. So anything that you utilize on your daily operation, make sure you have something type of protection in place to cover you, to cover yourself personally, and to cover your business as well.
Okay, good.
You know,
I was thinking also things like having a printer at your home or at your office, some type of business tools. You need a printer to print some things out.
yeah,
You
scanner.
know, a scanner. Or like one of those multifunction printers and scanners, and preferably you can print on both sides to cut down your paper. One of my pet peeves about printers, though, I don't like the inkjets. I think they're very cheap to purchase. It doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to get the ink replaced on a regular
Yes.
basis.
There's a laser one.
Yeah, I would prefer a laser printer for myself, and I like to have a laser printer, multifunction,
Yep.
take copies, and also we can print on both sides of the paper too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something you should have as the bare minimum to get started with. Now, I know some folks that first got started years ago in business, they might went to Costco to get a printer, and then they're not going to take it back after a couple of months. And they might say, hey, it stopped working. They never asked a person why it ran out. Well, no ink, I can't take it back. There's certain things I knew somebody did. It wasn't me. I ain't gonna say it was me. Ran out of ink and took it back. Because hard times at the time, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So you got printers, you got scanners, you got the software to consider, and software for your scheduling system, software taking the payments, way to take the payments, different platforms from that. You got PayPal, you got Square,
You
services
get a
from your
cyber,
bank.
you also get a cyber insurance too. Because we're
Yep,
talking about
that's true.
software, cyber insurance, a lot of people don't think about it. So yeah, cyber insurance,
Yeah.
the data
Yep.
breach and stuff like that.
Another thing for your business structure is not just the legal stuff regarding your corporate structure or your type of insurance you're gonna need or where you're gonna host your business at. Also some type of marketing plan.
Marketing
Some
plan,
type of customer service package or plan. Put some things
flyers,
in place. Say again?
And you can
different
find.
flyers, word of mouth, that can be effective.
Mhm.
And reach the
And-
proper audience too. The social
True.
media, use a larger audience, but it's based on the location. So there's a lot of ways based on the marketing plan. What is your marketing plan? What is your niche? Are you targeting specific people, or the nursing, or the volunteer people or teachers? So those are the marketing plan you have to look for.
And you
That's
can call
right.
some business attorney will give you a free consultation. It may be over the phone, but you can jot down your questions and ask key questions pertaining to your business that you can get some type of legal strategy in place to know what you're dealing with.
Yeah,
You know.
that's a
And
good
what's
point.
another reason why I have an attorney sometimes, to help you stay not just for the regulation of how to fingerprint, but also certain type of compliance you should be aware of too, for where there could be some zoning issues or some state requirements, but you need to stay compliant. Another good
Yeah.
resource, I'm gonna say the National Licensing Association too. It's a good resource. Things we could share with you here. Oh, for those folks out there from Florida and also for California for right now, and probably a few other states, there's one vendor out there right now, as of the day, is going to cease providing services to live scan technicians out there across the country. I think the company's called Thales, Thales. In California, as of the day, it's the last day they use the machine. Back in the days, it was called Cogent. They're no longer supporting their devices in the state of California, nor in Florida, effective today. Today is the last day you use those particular devices where you reside at. If you're not sure, contact the state law enforcement agency where you live at and see if you fall upon those particular restrictions now, those latest news. So Florida, California for sure, in Florida, if you have a machine that's from Cogent, now it's called Thales, Thales, I believe, today is your last day to use that live scan device for those particular states. If you have the device in a different state or you have the device for other purposes, contact that vendor or the manufacturer, if it's through that company we just shared with you, to make sure you're okay to use it or you might have to stop using it as of today. So things pop up, and that's one reason we're supporting about the association to keep your abreast about the compliancy too, because things like that does happen. They send emails out, some of the folks got notified the last second, but you should be aware of that. Have to stick that out there too. Now it might change later on, but as of right now, you can't use machines. We have 2 or 3 of those machines from Cogent. Back in the days, they called Cogent. And today's the last that we're going to use them for transmitting. No more. And these machines are strictly made for Cogent software. So other vendors who like to help us out, we have to go ahead and use a different machine, but not the ones from Cogent. And these light skin devices, as you guys know, are not free. You know. So you take 2 or 3 machines times the price for a minimum sized device, with any up and pay that. You know, so that's where we're at with that ourselves. So just be aware of that, folks. Just be aware, because you have to stay compliant. I like to circle back about certain things about the liability structures out there, and some talking points about it too. There's tax benefits, like Mâ-Oûmba shared with you and Carey did too, having some type of corporate tax structure versus as an independent or sole proprietor. Helps you separate your business from your personal stuff. So always keep separate accounts. Don't commingle funds and services. And folks, treat this as a business, not as a hobby.
Yeah.
But sometimes hobbies don't get paid. Again, how much you love doing it there. You got a lot of friends and referrals and stuff. The bottom end of the day is, did you get paid? Are your friends going to pay your rent all the time? Are they going to pay your tax bills? You know, are they going to put gas in your car? Are they going to fix your tire when it goes flat all the time? Whatever the case may be, you need to keep your stuff paid. You know, stay busy, stay broke. Have all the friends you want keeping you busy, and stay broke. Get somebody who's going to see some business and get paid. You know, consult with professionals. You have the SBA, you have SCORE, you have the National Licensing Association, you have the tax preparers, you have the accountants, you got the CPAs, you got the attorneys out there, and other state agencies may have things for you guys too that help you figure out how to get started with some type of business formation. You know, and go from there. There's so much part that's involved with business formation, but you need to start yesterday. Write things down, start making plans. Well, Mâ-Oûmba, I can tell you right now, she's working on stuff right now. And down the line, folks, we have South to Mâ-Oûmba right now. She may be doing you guys taxes. Her organization may be doing you guys taxes down the line. Right, Mâ-Oûmba? You doing taxes pretty soon, Mâ-Oûmba? If not, you are now.
Yes, actually, I'm starting tomorrow with the Vita to the IRS, volunteer my time to do taxes. So I will learn a lot of new scenarios and different scenarios about taxes.
All right, folks, you heard it from her directly. She can specialize in businesses for taxes down the line.
Yeah,
she knows the industry quite well, so it's a good source to go to. And perhaps
also, we forgot to mention too, for those who want to start a business and those who are thinking about looking for grant for businesses, especially for fingerprinting, be aware, guys, it's very rare you will find money for fingerprinting for grant. A lot of times it's a scam, so just be careful. Do your research.
That's the truth. Yep, we had another interview before. People say, "Hey, I paid somebody this much money here, and we ain't making money yet." I said, "What's your membership number?" We couldn't tell you, but they learned the hard way.
Yes.
They really did.
Do your research. Do your research.
Do your research, and just don't fall for the hype, because sometimes, most of the time, you can get bit by the bug.
Or just sign up for National Last Stand. Sign up.
And for those who want to know about the association, go ahead and give us a call or schedule to speak to member advisor.
Yes.
And at the time of this recording, you still get to speak to a member advisor and get some questions asked.
Exactly.
A free 15-minute call at the time of this recording. This won't be like that forever. You're going to stop that promotional service soon, but take advantage of it. Just go to livescan.chat. That's livescan.chat, where you're able to speak to a member advisor, get your questions answered, and learn more about the association.